Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Transformers? Yes, welcome again, all you swatators out there. This is the Can We Talk About podcast, broadcasting a weird addendum to that three-part extravaganza that was broken up by a 100th episode. Generation 1 of The Transformers. I am a mechanical freak. My name is Joe.
I'm stuck all alone on Cybertron with Starscream. I'm Kristen.
And we are watching Transformers via Tubi, a free streaming platform with intermittent commercials that Kristen now has Beast Wars. Wow.
Cool.
Kristen, have you been watching anything on the streaming platforms, anything on the internet, quite frankly? Have you been watching...
God, have I?
anything?
I am now watching, because it is, a simulcasting? Is that what you call it if it's not anime? The Good Place is getting updated on Hulu every week, so I am caught up with the most current season of that. And it's still good.
Am I gonna have to buy Hulu so I can... I don't want that thing to happen with The Good Place that happened with, like, every other TV show that I've ever watched, where I get up to where they are on Netflix.
You're just missing the final season?
Yeah, it's the final season, too, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. This week, Kristen, once again, back is the incredible Dr. Arkeville, who gets Robocop to fuck.
Naked Robocop. I guess Robocop is naked, too.
Underneath all that metal.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know, Kristen. His dick could have blown up.
There is a joke in the Team Star Kid musical Starship where a military commander got cut in half, but unfortunately he was sweaty at the time. So when he got cut in half vertically, hot dog, not hamburger, he lost his entire dick also. And that's what that makes me think of.
Awful.
Yep, I love it.
Dr. Arkeville suffering the same fate, unfortunately.
Ah, so sad.
And Kristen, as Starscream gets to become super evil, remorseless evil guy, well, Megatron at least has some honor, but for fuck's sake, Starscream is such a, like, just a whatever in this episode.
So, gotta wonder how Starscream is supposed to come back from this one. When he does, it will be very funny.
It's countdown to extinction, so things are about to go extinct.
Good, I didn't like the Earth that much anyway.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, robots in disguise. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.
Countdown to Extinction, written by Reed Robbins and Peter Sallis. Not much is known. I don't want to say not much is known, just not much is written about these guys. I'm sure that they exist.
In the annals of history.
They're not fucking the Library of Alexandria or anything.
We don't know that. Like, literally, you and I personally don't know that.
They're episodes of GoBots that they wrote for. Oh, Lost Media, of course. No.
The most important pieces of media that there are.
We start Kristen in the ruined future of 1990X from Fist of the North Star as the narrator guy explains the fallout of the Ultimate Doom. We're picking up right where we left off.
So, here's the thing that I really like. It's that, so the Earth is still fucked up.
Yes.
You know what? Great that they are like, some damage was done to this planet. So, the Autobots, by themselves...
They're the cleanup crew.
...are gonna fix the whole fucking planet?
Well, Kristen, after this little, the Autobots are helping to rebuild Earth, and we see the Dinobots, like, pushing some shit, and Optimus holding up a bridge while Ratchet, like, super glues it together, like...
Joe!
Yes.
So the repair bay is technology that they have.
Yes.
Couldn't they have just used that somehow?
Put Earth on a giant repair bay?
Or, like... use whatever technology it is to make the Sky Spy, like, a pew stuff back into existence? Is that more stupid than them filling in little gaps of concrete one at a time?
No, Kristen, the Autobots PR manager thought it would be a lot better look if they themselves went out and fixed the damage that they were partially responsible for.
Fucking Habitat for Humanity over here.
A weird thing happens. There's a shot of two bronze, just two bronze, that magically
become... Cool, I didn't notice.
That magically become one brawn and one gears right before Huffer has the magnum burn to Gears being like, you gotta fix it quickly or the Big Dipper's gonna get rusty. Ugh!
I'm sorry. Who said that?
Huffer.
Huffer. Okay, thank God, because I was like, I don't think that was Braun or Gears. Because they don't they don't mention who that is. They just focus on this one guy we don't see very often. And I was like, is that Wind Charger? I don't know.
No response from Gears, of course, because it's time for a transition. Kristen, this is a very transition-heavy episode.
Yes, it is, because I guess a lot happens, sort of. So, the passage of time in this episode is... like, kind of 8 hours. Kind of not really. We'll get into it.
We have, I believe, my favorite scene in the episode here, where Rumble and Skywarp are just two Italian men just going, forget about it, at each other, as basically Rumble is just being like, Skywarp, you're a fucking dumbass. I can't believe how much of a fucking dumbass you are, says the dumbassiest character of the Decepticons.
Just everyone's fighting. So we find out, I guess Megatron really was the only thing holding the Decepticons together. And then here's the even scarier part. They even got along better when Starscream was in charge. So the Decepticons are just a big mess.
When Starscream was in charge, nobody was calling anybody else a metallic mini meatball, okay? Rumble gets slapped into a console here after this retort and goes, you're a giant fucking turkey, to Skywarp. Classic Roxy tier insult from the Rumbler.
See, Joe!
Yes. Yes.
We've talked about Rumble and Frenzy before.
Yes.
He just shows up. He just pops up, don't he?
Frenzy comes out of a hole in the floor.
I'm here!
Skywarp tells Rumble to go empty the water pumps or whatever. And then, Kristen, I'm sure this was very confusing to you because an incorrectly colored Rumble comes out of a hole and is like, I don't want to do that work! And you're like, why is Rumble's voice suddenly higher?
No, what I wondered is, why did they just call Rumble Frenzy?
Rumble and Frenzy, Kristen, which we've talked at length before, I believe, of the coloring errors
sometimes
as well.
Blue, sometimes red. I think what I need to do is just elect not to think too hard about it.
Just when you see one of them, it's either Rumble or Frenzy.
I guess so. See, what really added to the confusion here is when I saw Frenzy pop up and I was like, isn't that Rumble? My brain connected the dots backwards to, oh, the person that was arguing at first was definitely like a reflector or something. Which, oh, that would have made sense, I guess.
I'm pretty sure Skywarp calls Rumble by name, or somebody does.
Oh, whatever, Joe. That's never made a difference before.
Because Thundercracker comes over, and he's trying to break up all the fights here, but Frenzy, pops out of his little hole. He's like, I don't want to do the geek work. And Skywarp, Kristen, says that geeky work begets geeky workers and tries to stomp him back into the hole.
Yeah, they're very, very small. That was, I think, another thing that confused me, is I understand that Rumble, Frenzy are cassettes, but in my brain, I guess, Reflector is smaller than both of them.
Thundercracker holds Rumble like a little baby in his hand.
He jumps onto Skywarp's, neck.
Yeah.
He's, the size of his face? That doesn't seem right.
Scaling issues. Again, we know and we love them.
Joe, the important thing is that Megatron just is like, hey.
The door opens.
He's here to talk to Jerry. He slides. He almost falls. That's not true. He has so much chill for someone who just exploded in space.
Megatron, walks in like it's nothing, and fucking door opens, everybody claps, and then Larry David gets angry because they're taking too long clapping and they need to finish the episode.
All the Decepticons are like, oh, hey, Megatron.
Oh, shit. You're alive.
You totally thought you exploded. And Megatron's just like, no. And that's really all we get. That's all the time we spend on that.
There were weird things in this episode, Kristen, where Shockwave is just later on, Megatron's indestructible! And Megatron offers no information on how he survived the fucking Energon explosion that was powerful enough to knock Cybertron out of Earth's orbit and then just kind of float his way back to Earth somehow.
I got better.
Megatron is here. He has unfinished business with Jerry and Newman, but unfortunately they are both gone. Dr. Arkeville and Starscream. I guess it would be Jerry and George then. Dr. Arkeville's very George.
Somehow, the other Decepticons know that Starscream took off with Dr. Arkeville. I don't think they were there for any of that, but whatever.
And Megatron's response to this of Dr. Arkeville not being here and Starscream also not being here is, I don't like that.
Awesome. So
very insightful.
Megatron just kind of feels like he's going with the flow this episode. As in, I'm not sure he even understands what the fuck he's doing for most of it, but whatever.
So Laserbeak arrives at this point and plays back a recording that he got of Starscream and Dr. Arkeville being very exposition-y.
Where'd this come from?
Very exposition-y with each other.
calling each other by name, because of course we couldn't tell their voices apart. That would be crazy.
Kristen, someone might have thought that it was Casey Kasem doing the top 40.
I don't care, Joe. Dr. Arkeville has a secret lab, apparently, that didn't come up in any of the conversations where he and Megatron were trying to destroy/rule Earth, whatever. And there were other inventions there that Starscream's like, let me at 'em, dude.
So, Kristen, all of this, like Megatron's plan in the Ultimate Doom, was all about getting energy. But Dr. Arkeville has a thing that can produce infinite energy.
Apparently, Dr. Arkeville was just holding out.
He just wanted to do the hypnochip thing, I think. That's what, like, he's just like, oh yeah, I have this thing, but I want to try this other thing, so I'm not going to tell you about that, infinite, fuck that, get out of here.
I mean, when someone pays you to do work, but then you want to work on your own stuff, it's like, I feel a little bit guilty about this, but really want to do the hypnochip thing, so we're going to set that aside for now. I'm going to work on the hypnochip.
Plan B is the exponential generator. We'll get to that when we get to that. Now,
Plan A doesn't work somehow.
It'd be so much easier if they just used the fucking exponential generator, Kristen. We could have Megatron orders the Decepticons to go get the traders here, and then transition as Teletran 1 finally comes back online, Kristen, here.
I don't know if Teletran's just been broke this whole time since Spike dropped that wrence in it and started all those fires.
Oh, yeah.
Spike and Sparkplug not in this episode, by the way. I guess they're in counseling.
I didn't think about that. Dr. Arkeville, the only human in this episode, and he's fucking useless.
Everyone's favorite character, middle crotch Dr. Arkeville.
Casey Kasem, the mad scientist.
I still can't hear it anytime he talks. I don't know. Maybe that's a problem with me.
So, Kristen, as Teletran 1 comes back online here, like, Cliffjumper is there, again, Casey Kasem coming in loud and clear at number 18 this week. And
it's the Decepticons flying.
Yeah, Optimus is just, like, Teletran just comes on, and it's like, you wanted me to track the Decepticons when I was shut off, so here they are. And it's like, fuck, oh my god, Megatron. Like, they're not even surprised Megatron's back either.
Nope. The only one who's surprised about this is apparently Starscream later.
Autobots, roll out!
And there's another transition. So Dr. Arkeville and Starscream are going on a cool ride, which I guess is hours and hours and hours long, because they started going there when they left that weird dam island jungle during the last part of the Ultimate Doom, when Starscream ran away because he got in trouble.
They probably went back to Dr. Arkeville's house for a bit. He needed to get some craft dinner in him, just, kind of sat down, had himself a nice cut up a hot dog in there or something.
So wait, because here's the other thing, Joe. If Starscream kind of wasn't around, like, did he just see the huge explosion and assume, oh, that was probably Megatron's ship with all those energies in it? He's probably dead now.
That's the thing. Like, Starscream leaves before the thing explodes, so Starscream is claiming ownership of the Decepticons and not having witnessed...
You didn't tell them.
No, that's the other thing. When the Laserbeak plays back the tapes, like, oh, Megatron's dead, so I'm the leader of the Decepticons now.
He's talking to Dr. Arkeville, who's not a Decepticon.
No, he's not talking to the Decepticons about it.
Maybe he saw Laserbeak and he was like, hey, run and tell this, you dumb bird.
So they fly down into a ravine here with a secret lab, Kristen. Oh, so secret that it's got giant steps in front of it.
Yeah, and I thought it was going to be a whole thing where they're like, wow, look over there. But what actually happens is they open the Jesus boulder that's rolled in front of the door. And then Starscream takes it and chucks it. So the base is just open after this. So I'm not sure why it had a secret door to begin with.
I do not know what Starscream's fucking play is with this, where Dr. Arkeville is just like...
He's flexing.
Aha, I can open this only with my mouth. I, Dr. Arkeville, genius scientist, say, open sesame! And then Starscream just grabs the boulder and chucks it further down into the ravine, into another ravine attached to the ravine.
Starscream's basically just mad that the password is so long. He's like, that took too long, we're not doing that again. I think they also were worried that Kristen would mention doing Genius of Science say open sesame is redundant. It's supposed to sound like open says me. So that's just weird and stupid, or is that the point? Does that make it a good password that it's dumb and it doesn't make sense?
Genius of Science say, open say Genius of Science.
Yeah, at least go all the way circular with it.
So we wipe to the inside of the lab here, and Dr. Arkeville shows off the exponential generator here. It's the ultimate power source.
It's a weird little electric egg inside a tube.
And Dr. Arkeville, just like as Starscream is going over, like fucking around with it, Dr. Arkeville's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
He's touching it like one of those lightning ball orbs at Spencer's.
Why isn't the lightning hitting my fingers? I don't get it.
Bring a cat over here. I want to see electric beams.
If Starscream disrupts the rhythmic pulse of the generator, Kristen, it will cause the heat death of the universe, essentially. And Starscream's like...
Starscream doesn't give a fuck, and you know what? I don't either.
Starscream's response is just like, I don't care about this minor planet.
Starscream also seems to go back and forth like 10 times just in the first part of the episode about whether or not he wants to step on and crush Dr. Arkeville or kidnap him and keep him forever like Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh, who's the Beast?
Starscream.
No, Kristen, he's Beauty.
He could be a beautiful beast.
I was going to say like Ron Perlman, but he wasn't beautiful in that TV show from the 90s.
Are you saying Dr. Arkeville is beast because he's part robot?
Because he's a Robo-Man.
That's rude, Joe. Electric generators. Remember, like Gem?
Oh, with the electric guitar. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Beauty and the Rock promoter. Wow, Red Johnny Mac is...
Yep, Dr. Arkeville, Red Johnny Mac under there.
Dr. Arkeville is way better than Red Johnny Mac.
I'm glad he dies.
The Decepticons are on the move here, Kristen, but notice the Autobots following, which, again, just is like...
And Jem is exhausted because she's taken so many promo pictures.
Go, attack, dive bomb. They get dive bombed. Transition again.
So, also, how fast are the Decepticons going? So we know from experience that the Ark and the Decepticon base are basically across the street from each other.
Pretty much.
I guess the Autobots are really fast. Because they catch up with the Decepticons, and it seems like they probably left before the Autobots did. Joe, the pacing in this episode. Oh, I just got nauseous thinking about it.
The pacing issues have just started, Kristen.
I know. Oh my god, I have heartburn.
Just started. Back inside the lab here, Dr. Arkeville is like, hey, Starscream, can you, like, wear a hard hat? Or can you, like, not touch my shit or everything? Because he's like...
Fuck you. So what happened is, like, Starscream basically, like, put a little blindfold on Dr. Arkeville and spun him around, and then pushed him outside into a different room and was like, I'm gonna redecorate, it's gonna be great. And what he does is just, like, mount a weird thing that's not connected to anything else on the wall. I guess it's, like, Wi-Fi connected to the generator.
He had to get Dr. Arkeville's Wi-Fi password.
I, Dr. Arkeville, Genius of Science, say open sesame.
Can you please, like, how about just open sesame? Whatever, I'm not, okay, cool.
Doesn't matter.
So he turns on here, Kristen, the exponential generator, this thing that is just on the wall nowhere near the exponential generator.
He screws it with a manual screwdriver. It would have been less stupid if he just used his finger to do it.
There's a big timer on it, and Kristen, in 8 hours, the exponential generator has been rigged so it will generate enough energy that it will cause the Earth to explode into a big old firework of energy.
Honestly, and in like most JRPGs, just a countdown until the world is not anymore.
Essentially, yes. Just there's a ticking clock element, if you will, Kristen.
They don't go into a huge amount of detail. It's like, yeah, maybe it'll explode. Probably. The thing is, it's going to create lots of energy.
Dr. Arkeville's not too happy about this. He's just been through this. Kristen, he's like, again? What the fuck?
Here's the thing, Joe. Dr. Arkeville is like Earth's savior at this point. He's never going to get the credit he deserves.
The only one we can count on.
He died with the world not knowing that he was a hero like the boss.
Oh my god, a true patriot.
A true patriot, Dr. Arkeville.
And Starscream, once Dr. Arkeville is like, oh wait, the Earth's gonna explode? I don't want that to happen. Starscream's like, yes! And this exchange...
Did I ask if you wanted to do it?
This exchange that lasts maybe 15 seconds. Already, Kristen.
Oh, the Earth is gonna explode. Oh my god, if only I thought of that before. Oh, no stopping it now, I guess. Fuck you.
The timer was 8 hours. And in that little exchange, suddenly now 7 hours, 58 minutes, 20 seconds.
Joe, it's the sort of thing, and I feel like we've talked about this before, if they didn't show or imply that specific amounts of time went by, I don't think it would annoy me so much. If it just had, like, you know, like fake scrambled timers, it's like, oh, they're all nines, and then they're all not numbers at all, but it keeps changing to imply that it's counting down.
Right, like a weird Cybertronian number system or something like that.
Yeah, sure. Like, yeah, also Starscream set this to go off in Earth time? Maybe he thought 8 hours would be like 8 minutes. Because they get out of there pretty fast.
Well, that's the thing. They leave, and Starscream's like, we need to be safely on Cybertron before it explodes! But they leave!
He just knows where Cybertron is also. And he flies there as a jet.
Well, Kristen, to be fair, if you remember in Fire in the Sky when Starscream was
He
incorrectly...
flied from Cybertron to Earth as a jet.
incorrectly as an F-14 rather than a cool triangle jet.
Whatever, Joe, I'm telling you, Starscream was the first of many.
Maybe Transformers just have like a home feed, like they click home on their Google Maps inside themselves, and it's just like, oh, Cybertron, yeah. I know where that is.
Even though Cybertron, once again, as far as we know, isn't back where it used to be, he was able to track it down. He was like, find my iPhone, Shockwave's iPhone. Okay, that's where he is.
Oh, Krista, we skipped a little thing here. That was my favorite part, where Dr. Arkeville, after the timer starts, Dr. Arkeville's just like, I'll stay here and make sure it goes off for certain, and starts, like, I thought this was gonna work, Kristen.
No! Starscream is like, you really think I'm that stupid? Good instinct, but no! Not this episode.
And then he stuffs him into his cockpit and they leave.
He grabs him and just slam dunks him in there.
End of segment 1.
After threatening to step on him.
He does raise his leg like, I'll do
How
it.
many guns does Starscream have? And he's like, I'm gonna crush you under my little footsie.
Maybe, Kristen, because there's a thruster on his heel, he's gonna shoot him full of fire first and then step on him.
Oh my god, does he have like a gun stiletto like Bayonetta?
Oh my god.
Like fire?
Time to reskin Bayonetta to be null rays and boot guns.
My favorite thing about later Starscreams is the heels, of course.
I mean, you gotta put the thrusters somewhere, and it just ends up with Starscream having thruster heels.
Yeah, I love it. He stands later when he's talking to Shockwave, like a little bit like legs crossed, like the Tyra Banks, oh, but make it fashion sort of pose. It's great. I love it. Joe, this is a great Starscream episode. This episode's incredibly stupid, but let me tell you, I was into it.
Start of segment 2. We see the timer again. 7 hours, 56 minutes, and Starscream and Dr.
Wow, they're really going for it.
Already in space.
Booking it.
And Kristen, this is the first time that Dr. Arkeville implores Starscream to reconsider, and the response is not, okay.
Yeah, Starscream has just enough evil that he's like, no, idiot.
And he notes that Dr. Arkeville trying to be compassionate is hilarious, considering what he did in the last few episodes.
Yeah, he wanted to enslave all of humanity, you know, he's like, don't destroy my home planet.
Before long, I shall be Lord Starscream.
Sounds good to me. I don't know what he has a problem with.
I'm into it, yeah.
Yeah.
Transition back to the Autobots and the Jets here. Remember that? Remember when they got dive-bombed when I glossed over that really quickly? Because this cartoon cannot decide what story it wants to tell, so it tells both of them at the same time.
Joe, as into the Starscream plot as I was during all of this, there were 2 points where I just got distracted and started doing something else on my computer without realizing it. During this first kind of robot fight here is when I started looking at prices for haircuts in the city. And I was just like, all right, I'm in the middle of something.
Well, let me give you the rundown on this one here, Kristen. So,
are you sure we need to? I really don't care.
A bumblebee gets buried in some rubble.
Rubblebee,
yes, excuse me. Mm-hmm. For some reason, Optimus goes, Autobots, hold! And calls Brawn.
Attention! About face.
Calls Brawn to dig Bumblebee out. To take the bumble off of Rubblebee. And it takes 2 seconds, because this is a cartoon. And then Optimus goes, everybody...
For a split second, I was looking at Bumblebee covered in all those rocks, and I was like, are we suddenly going to see Spike inside there? Like, ah!
Man, this is the first time that Spike didn't get to go to the robot fight.
They must be having some breakthroughs at therapy.
He's going to be so
They're doing trust falls.
He's going to be so angry that his robot fight punch card was not punched today.
He'll have other chances.
Man, I'm 2 away from a free robot fight.
Joe, he's always getting these robot fights for free, unless you count, like, the trauma he endures as payment.
You know I do, Kristen.
Of course, that and the robot shoulder.
Optimus orders everyone to go and, like, get cover, and Wheeljack and Ironhide are basically like, fuck that!
No one listens.
People in this episode, Kristen, love using their shoulder missiles. Wheeljack fires his shoulder missile. Let's clobber those flying garbage cans, says Ironhide, as just boom, blow up shoulder missile.
Yeah, I think like Skywarp goes wing a little bit.
And as this robot fight is happening, Kristen, somehow Megatron diverts from the rest of the Decepticons, and there's, a lot of sneaking
Joe, this is great, because Optimus does get back at him for this later.
There's a lot of sneaking up on one another in this.
It's great.
They have a little, tussle here, as Megatron and Optimus often do. The shine on Megatron versus Optimus has really been taken off, Kristen.
I wonder if it's the fact that there's no dialogue anymore.
It is almost literally once an episode.
I do really appreciate, I wish there was some way I could Foley this. The robot fight sound effects when there's no dialogue happening are so distracting. Because it's just like, gonk, bink, donk. Like just very dull metal against metal noises. Mixed very low. It just sounds stupid.
And then Optimus manages to pick Megatron up and throw him into a lake. And Megatron says here, fall back, Decepticons. These Autobots are too hero-programmed to know when to quit.
So, Joe.
Yes.
Eventually, we do get a little bit of Princess and the Singer. Let's work together to make sure shit doesn't explode and kill all of us in this episode.
Yes.
I thought it was going to happen sooner somehow. Like, Megatron would be like, okay, you dipshits. We might all die because Starscream sucks. And the Autobots are like, I've heard that one before. But it really doesn't, like, they never have any conversations about this.
Not really, it just...
The Autobots just see the Decepticons going somewhere, and they're like, absolutely not on my fucking watch.
We'll get to it when we get to it, but the weird thing about this, Kristen, is Megatron saying the Autobots are hero-programmed. Does that imply that Megatron sees himself as a villain? Does Megatron not have full faith in what he's trying to do for the best of everything? Or does he just... Is he a mustache-twirling idiot laying Starscream on the train tracks?
There's like a complex villain that exists out there, and it's like the villain doesn't believe he's the villain. Megatron did just try to destroy all of Earth for energy. I think even he
ends justify the means, Kristen!
I mean, genocide. I think it's rocky territory.
Kristen, it would be like killing a planet full of fruit flies for us.
Are you proposing genocide against fruit flies, Joe?
A planet of fruit flies, maybe, that can help Earth live forever.
I mean, at least let's do mosquitoes in that case.
True, mosquitoes are fucky and I don't like them.
I hate them. The Autobots just follow the Decepticons, though.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, is the Decepticons just leave and then the Autobots go, ha-ha, we got them, but we can't lose them, so please follow them.
Back to the Starscream thing.
So, Starscream just walks up in on Cybertron here, and it's like, hey, Shockwave, my guy, how you doing?
Remember me? Here, I'm in charge now. Funny story.
And Shockwave's like, whoa! Dr. Arkeville can't be here. Orders of Megatron.
And Starscream is like, funny story. Megatron exploded.
He flashes a badge here, like...
Yeah, where'd he get this little sheriff's badge? His little metal wallet.
It's the same thing that Skyfire does with the Autobot symbol in Fire in the Sky.
I have this thing that has the Decepticon symbol on it, and somehow that means I'm in charge now. Don't ask questions, you one-eyed dipshit.
Shockwave apparently didn't get the memo, Kristen, that the reason Cybertron isn't in Earth's atmosphere anymore is because Megatron's ship exploded.
Shockwave also got exploded. What would you call that? Like the transitive property of explosions? He was on Cybertron, therefore he would have been slingshotted. Maybe he's just so used to getting slingshotted back and forth in space that he didn't even notice.
You think he would have spilled his ass or something when Cybertron started moving, like, whoa! Or
maybe he just turned around and was like, wait, where'd Earth go? Weird. He's just been trying to call Megatron like, what are we doing? I kind of expected you about 5 hours ago.
Shockwave is shocked by this, Kristen, and says that...
He
shockwaved and says that Megatron is indestructible, and Starscream goes, yeah, well, if he's so indestructible, try calling him, motherfucker. Go, do it.
Find his iPhone, if you think you can. I found your iPhone, you're here, so for some reason, maybe it's because Cybertron's no longer anywhere near Earth. Shockwave can't contract Megatron, so Starscream's like, there you go, he's dead.
But don't worry, Starscream. I'll keep trying.
Actually, I'd prefer if you didn't, because I'm in charge now, so don't do that.
And Shockwave then just turns around, clearly ignoring Starscream, being like, no, don't contact Earth. And Starscream decides...
I thought he was going to shoot the monitor and make it explode.
No, he just kind of shoots a warning shot across Shockwave's Cyclops eye snoot.
Yep. Shockwave is like, okay. And then he just hangs out for a couple hours before attempting to still keep calling Megatron and it eventually working.
They got to set up some energy collectors, Kristen, because in 3 hours, the Earth is going to explode.
Whatever.
It may have taken that long to get to Cybertron. I don't think it would have taken that long to get to Dr. Arkeville's lab is the problem.
I don't think so either, unless they decided to do a pit stop in Peru, see how the Maharaj is doing.
Transition. Starscream is like, Dr. Arkeville, you should be so thankful to me because you're gonna be the only human left. You can't propagate your race anymore. How's that sound, buddy?
So here's the other part where I just wasn't paying attention anymore, because I got onto Twitter, and I ended up tweeting cartoon. Oh my god, isn't it terrible that Starscream is trying to destroy Earth and torment Dr. Arkeville with the notion of him being the last living human? And then me and Starscream alone on Cybertron forever. Which I followed up by, Shockwave is there too, I guess. But me and Starscream are stuck together, and get this, there's only one bed. So this is just feeding the Starscream fanfiction, in my opinion.
I was gonna say, this is just Kristen fantasy going on right now.
Yeah, I loved it.
Earth dies and I get to hang out with Starscream forever.
Yes! My student loans are gone. I get to dunk on a piss baby all day. I love it.
Dr. Arkeville then tries to sabotage Starscream's energy collection, trying to be the hero, trying to be the boss. Just, you know, like, okay, so...
I mean, I guess in his defense, he doesn't know he's going to get electrocuted.
No.
He probably assumes that he would get shot or something, though.
He does, the computer shocks him because apparently there's...
After several seconds of him messing around with the controls.
There's a child lock on there that makes it so only Decepticons can use it.
Yeah, it has a cushioned corner.
And then Starscream goes, take him to Repair Bay. Take a look at Banner, Michael. Skywarp mentions the Decepticons are headed off their flight path here as we join them. And Megatron, again, just like very, like laying it on thick, like, wow, you're very astute, Skywarp. Like, come on, buddy. If you're not going to tell everybody else what's going on, I think that Skywarp is right being like, oh, Megatron, where are we going?
Oh, you haven't figured it out by now? Dummy, we're going to the Valley of No Return. Which is where?
In the Valley of No Return, of course.
It's in Utah, obviously, right next to Salt Lake City. The city of no return.
Rumble goes, why are we going to be sightseeing? And...
Shut up!
And Megatron goes, we won't be, but the Autobots will.
Because they'll be stuck there. Haha. Joe, I have a little bit of a logistics problem with this, which might be undermined by the fact that I live in Pennsylvania.
Yes.
I have never seen quicksand.
Yes.
The desert seems too dry for quicksand. I think the cartoon thinks that quicksand is just...
a part of sand.
That is just, like, less dense. Therefore, you sink in it. I'm pretty sure quicksand's wet.
Yeah, quicksand, from what I remember, is essentially just a lot of water with a lot of sand in it, making it just, like, a bunch of goopy earth that makes it very difficult to get out of.
Yeah. You know, like the Princess Bride.
Like the Princess Bride. Exactly. You just gotta let it happen.
Tie a vine around your waist and jump on in there.
So the Decepticons lead the Autobots into the Valley of No Return here and then just immediately do a U-turn. And...
Autobots are like, what? And then they realize that they don't have feet anymore.
Yeah, they're sinking into the sand. And Megatron just kind of lands and is like, well, I've heard the Autobots tread water, but that's not the same as treading sand.
Man, every time I hear his laugh now, I just can't believe how spot fucking on I was.
And for some reason, Kristen, Megatron's like, okay, Laserbeak. Like, of all the Decepticons, it's just like, Laserbeak, can you stay here really quick and just make sure that the Autobots all die? Thank you very much.
Let's leave the one that can't talk.
There is a weird thing that happens where after Megatron says to Laserbeak, hey, you stay here, Optimus starts talking, but I thought it was Laserbeak for a second.
Whoa!
Like, by the second word, I knew it was Optimus, but...
Laserbeak suddenly went through puberty. Like Peter Brady in the Brady Bunch movie. Instead of going, rah, he's like Pessimus Prime.
So the Decepticons all leave here, and Optimus goes, Ironhead, can you use your super cool nitrogen shit? Your liquid your cool... Don't use your glue gun. I'd rather you use your liquid nitrogen if that's cool.
Yeah, so they're gonna freeze the sand, I guess. I don't know. But Laserbeak tries to intercept.
And we get another shoulder missile here, Kristen. I forgot Mirage has a fucking shoulder missile.
I didn't even know that was Mirage, so...
Mirage fires his shoulder missile here, which smacks Laserbeak right in his beak, right in his laser beak, and turns him into a cassette in the process, which Jazz then catches.
And he turns into what appears to be a normal-sized cassette, which is not what he is usually. He's usually a Decepticon-sized cassette.
Usually a Soundwave-sized cassette. But if you think about it, when Soundwave transforms and he's small, then the cassette would be small enough to go into Soundwave when he's in the microcassette player form.
Here's the thing, Joe. I like to imagine that much like Reflector is a giant camera, Soundwave is just a giant cassette player.
But we've seen that he's not.
Has that stopped me from thinking anything before?
The only weird Transformer that doesn't get any kind of sizing issues is, like, Megatron turns into a potentially human or Transformer-sized gun. Soundwave transforms, Reflector transforms, Shockwave transforms into just a giant fucking laser gun.
And, like, this is all after Skyfire is just big, or is he? How big, though? Really big, or, like, big?
Nobody brandishes Shockwave from what I remember, other than, like, a fucking giant combiner or something.
Good, great. Why isn't he the leader?
So the sand gets frozen here as Ironhide, frozen question mark, as Ironhide takes out his, puts his hand into his wrist and starts...
Vacuums all the water up or something, I don't know.
And as they get out, Jazz is like, hey, Optimus, you want to hear number 1 on the Decepticon hot cassette charts?
And Optimus has a... I hate this. Optimus says, as the Earthlings say, lay it on me, man. Do you think Casey Kasem was like, I'm sorry, what did you just say?
And Jazz shoves Laserbeak into his cassette player, and now he's trapped there for eternity.
No!
So the tape of Starscream and Dr. Arkeville is played, so now they know they gotta head to the secret lab. I guess everybody knows where the fucking secret lab is, Kristen!
They were following the Decepticons to begin with!
But they didn't know where the Decepticons were going.
I don't think they did either. They never got, like, a longitude and latitude of where they were going.
No, they did not. You are correct.
We don't know what state or country they're in.
Megatron went find my iPad for Starscream's iPad.
Starscream, that dumbass, left his iPad behind again. He keeps doing that.
So, as this is playing back here as well, Optimus shoves his fucking grubby hands against Jazz's windshield and is like, oh, cool!
And Jazz is like, whoa, back off, buddy.
Bruh, come on.
Stop.
That is my chest in robot form. You gotta be a little better with that, please.
Am I gonna have to talk to HR?
Mirage just writing stuff down, like, Optimus, I don't know.
And Optimus is like, transform and roll! Let's ignore that happened.
We get the recycled animation of Optimus transforming as well when this happens. Transition, again.
Well, Joe, here's the weird thing. The Rock isn't hiding the lab anymore.
I mean, I guess if the Decepticons were just kind of looking around, just being like, let's see if we can find this lab, and then just like, oh, wait!
There's stairs and an entrance!
And Megatron seems to know about the exponential generator as well, as segment 2 ends here, and we see the countdown, Kristen. Only 2 hours left.
This is the fastest 2 hours of my entire life.
Segment 3 starts here. Megatron gets all starry-eyed when looking in the lab here at the exponential generator, and is...
I've seen one of these in Spencer's gifts.
He starts commanding it like it's a subordinate, like, you will give your energy to me.
And it's like, okay.
Rumble alerts Megatron that the Autobots have arrived here, and as the Decepticons all leave the cave lab to look around, Optimus somehow gets close enough to Megatron to uppercut him without Megatron even noticing.
This could be one of my favorite pieces of animation I've seen so far. 'Cause it was like, I can imagine they had storyboards set up, and they were like, wait a minute, how do we get from here to Optimus punching Megatron? And someone went, I don't fucking care.
And Donald F. Glut walks by and goes, it's a cartoon! And everybody goes,
Doesn't matter, we don't have time for this.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, Optimus's fist just comes up out of frame. He has some weird looking hands this episode. Did you notice that?
I did not. Were they like too big? Like, what was weird about them?
They were too human. They were very round at the tips. They looked like he had some yaoi hands forming.
Ugh, everybody's favorite Xbox 360 game, Too Human.
I thought you were going to say their favorite game, yaoi.
So, as Megatron gets, like, tossed back from this uppercut, this, like, knocks him clear across the fucking ravine, too. And he picks up a boulder to kill a snake on the ground and goes, here, have a ton of fun.
Somehow Rumble got behind Optimus. Optimus dodges out of the way and it smacks Rumble.
And... there's a very weird, like, Optimus laughs, but it's cut off very suddenly. Like, Peter Cullen had the laugh line go for, like, 5 extra seconds, and they're like, that's too much. We gotta just, like, stop in the middle, and...
we're running out of time!
So Dr. Arkeville Kristen has been rebuilt. They have the technology. They can make him better, faster, more pissy than ever.
They're what? $6 million manning him? What is it?
They're $6 million manning him. They're... $6 million Cybertronian-ing him, and Starscream pulls over a mirror to see
to just mock Dr. Arkeville.
to let Dr. Arkeville see himself, and he goes, you've turned me into a mechanical freak!
He did that to himself first.
As if you had a robot arm, dude. Your brain was fucking encased in a colander.
I think it would be different if he were a full human to begin with. If he were too human. But yeah, now he's just one naked bee, mostly metal.
The only human parts left of him are...
The sequel to Two Human, mostly metal.
The only human parts left of him are like half of his face, an arm, and one leg, I'm pretty sure.
So he's doing great. Starscream says, aren't you just glad? I'm sorry. Where's my thank you? You're alive.
But I can't move!
Who cares?
Starscream says that's what you get for meddling in my shit!
Shockwave's like, I don't fucking care anymore.
Ba-na-na-na.
So that little torture sequence is over.
Optimus walks into... Apparently the robot fight's over. Optimus just walks into the lab here and just looks over the exponential generator. And Megatron is like, okay, well, I'm going to shoot at you, Optimus. And Optimus goes, yeah, go for it.
Because you're so great at hitting. Megatron says something about having good aim. One scene after, a scene where he had bad aim. It's like no one's paying attention, Joe.
And Optimus points out as well that the generator is very unstable, so...
And like always, Megatron's like, I don't care.
And apparently now, Kristen, there's less than a minute before it explodes.
Everyone stopped to take a nap, got all recharged, now they're ready for business again.
The school bell rang, recess is over, they gotta wait until tomorrow to come and continue their little story.
Don't worry about it, so... This part is great.
As Megatron is about to shoot, he gets the be-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do on his chest lights. Shockwave calling Megatron! Megatron, come in!
That's why Shockwave was leaving in the other scene. He was like, I don't want to do this again. Call Megatron again. And Megatron boops his chest button. He's like, I'm busy, call later.
No! Starscream is on Cybertron! He's got Dr. Arkeville! You've got to find his lab and pull some shit off the wall or something! And...
I mean, we're already here, I guess, so fine.
It's really convenient that they're already in Dr. Arkeville's lab.
Because they didn't really have enough time to do this otherwise.
As the ticking clock just reaches close to 0 or whatever, Optimus just very casually just rips the thing off the wall and, that's it.
He just pulls the thermostat off. And he's like, no more of that.
There's no cutting any red or blue wires, just like no flipping a switch, just right off the wall.
So Shockwave is like, please come get your boy Starscream. He's on Cybertron and I'm really sick of his shit. Also, he's probably going to be mad at me. And Megatron is like, I am going to fuck Starscream up for this.
Ba-na-na-na.
So, I like this. Starscream is just sitting at the console computer and he's like,
where's the kaboom? There was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
Why didn't anything explode yet? Dr. Arkeville, go try and find out. There's clearly something wrong with that timer.
And Dr. Arkeville's like, I'm in my fucking chair, doofus. I can't move.
Also, you're the one who made that time. I don't know how it works. So it looks like you gotta go back. And there is a really great scene-to-scene transition here where Starscream doesn't really say anything, just kind of is like, ugh. And then it shows him flying back to Earth.
Like a Gilligan cut, almost.
Yep.
Like it should have been, I'm not going back. There's no way I'm going back to cut.
I can't believe I'm back on Earth.
We get another transition here. Megatron is grabbing the exponential generator from its casing here.
Out of its incubator.
And
Optimus, its little Death Stranding baby tube.
Optimus is just standing there watching, and it's just like, Megatron, it's still very unstable. And also, you were so close to it for so long that the metal casing on your chest started to melt. What the hell?
And Megatron's like, I don't care.
He's just like, I'll cool down soon enough. Like,
he holds it like a football, and he's like, I'm out of here.
And Optimus just kind of steps aside and is like, as you wish, Megatron. And
Megatron gets past him, and then Optimus is like, psych!
He tackles him from behind here as they play a game of keep away with the energy egg. Essentially, just they
shake it up too much. It's like a can of cola.
There's mentions like they'll say things like, "Whoa, be careful! Whoa, it's gonna explode!" And then it hits the ground, and it's actually going to explode.
What I really hoped was going to happen here is it falls and it's over near a door, and I hoped Starscream was going to run in at that moment and it was going to explode like afterwards. What happens is maybe arguably funnier, where Optimus is like, oh fuck, it's really going to explode now, and Megatron is like, the least we can do is get it to explode away from where we are. So he grabs it, they run with it, and there's some teamwork that happens.
Megatron's you were talking about how they don't really, have many lines about it. The only line about it is Megatron saying, "No time to argue." Like, okay, cool, good enough. So
here we go. And he tells Optimus, like, shove that thing in me, let's go.
Whoa!
Come on!
Buy a guy a drink first, huh?
We don't have time for that, the Earth's gonna explode.
So the football-sized egg thing gets shoved into Megatron's fucking sniper pistol barrel, and Optimus fires Megatron, which fires that as well, which, amazingly, Kristen, it doesn't just explode right there because there's a fucking energy bullet hitting it.
Nope. But it does go into space, and it explodes right when Starscream is, like, approaching Earth's atmosphere.
I do like it. Just, it passes him, and Starscream goes, "What was that?" Ah! And he just careens to Earth and hits the ground, and as Megatron approaches, he's like, "Welcome, Voyager," and Starscream's like, "Oh, fuck!"
Oh, no! Because, once again, to Starscream's credit, he did think Megatron was dead.
Transition again here. The Autobots are all rolling back, and Jazz is just like, "What do you think Megatron's gonna do to Starscream? Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, murder."
And they really just end this episode making it seem like Starscream is donezo. Because, how does he bounce back from this?
Krista, we ask that almost every episode where
This is probably the most egregious of them, though, right?
Considering in the
Who's gonna explode Earth with the remaining Decepticons on it?
Considering the Ultimate Doom Part 2 is Megatron having, like, "Look, if you cross me again, I'm gonna chop you into little fucking metal bits, you doofus.
I'm gonna chop you up like a goddamn salad and then eat you." I wonder if, come next episode, we will even talk about this.
I watched the next episode, Kristen,
Yes.
when I was doing my little, just watching random episodes. No.
I mean, if they did, Joe, how would plot ever happen again?
How would we have the same episode every week in different flavors?
Exactly. So Starscream gets to keep being his good old little piss baby self, and I don't care.
Now's the point in the evening where we'll list off all of the fun contact things, where you can find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at cwtapod. You can follow me at Octopus, which is AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark, where you can follow my Starscream fanfiction, my Starscream Imagine tweets.
You can find us on the Apple Podcasts, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio, on the YouTube even. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. You can also drop us a line, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us all about the things that Megatron is going to do to Starscream short of killing him, and how to have a robot fight that lasts hours on end with nobody sustaining any major damage.
Or speaking. And also check out my new podcast solo project, ASMR Relationships, the podcast equivalent of listening to gossip that has nothing to do with you. You can find a link to it in the episode notes. Follow it on Twitter at RedUpGossip. Right now it is on a as I have time release schedule, but I'd appreciate if you gave it a listen. It's a chill time.
Next time, Kristen, more characters.
No.
A Plague of Insecticons, which features one of my favorite minor Transformers characters, Kristen, who has a speech tick that makes me laugh every time I hear it, every time he talks.
I think I probably have heard of this character before, but Joe, my brain is coming up with nothing.
And Kristen, we are inching ever closer to the season end extravaganza where we put you on the spot and make you name all the Autobots.
Am I gonna have to learn the Insecticons and shit too?
Yeah, probably, yeah. I won't, maybe, like, having...
Joe, can you find a way to make me, like, digital flashcards?
We get...
So I can practice at least?
We get Devastator before the end of the season, too, and that's 6...
I kind of know who Devastator is.
Well, you know who Devastator is, but do you know any of the 6 pieces that make up Devastator? Come on, give me any first thing that comes to mind. Come on. Come on.
Cement truck!
The cement truck has the best name, too, the one that you'll probably remember the easiest.
Damn it! I know it, too! Dump.
Mixmaster.
Mixmaster. Dumper. Shitman. Deuce Taker.
Long Haul's the dump truck, Kristen.
Fuck! Do I know any others?
Probably not.
And one of the Insecticons is Buzzy Beetle.
Yes, exactly. The World 4 Bowser, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Which, Kristen, fun fact about Super Mario Bros. 1, you can't kill a fucking Buzzy Beetle with a fireball, and yet you can kill that Buzzy Beetle that's disguised as Bowser with a fucking World 4 or 5 in Super Mario Bros.
It took its cloaking off in order to put its Bowser suit on. What are we talking about?
And of course, some other stuff will happen too in that special. If you would like to participate in our season end extravaganza, please do send your favorite, least favorite, everything you love and hate about season 1 of Transformers to cwtapod@gmail.com or at cwtapod on Twitter, or you could tell me and Kristen straight up to our faces, not online. See what happens. For the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I'm Kristen.
And join us next time for Insects!
No, I don't want those in the mail.
Insects are in the mail!
No!